Assalamu alaikum. Good day, everyone. My name is Rabi Hassan. I'm going to take you on EEP lecture, business plan. Business plan is one of the complementary lecture to EEP 4201. Now, if you check the modules, we have 1 to 7 modules. So business plan is not among them, even though there are some part of it in module 1. So this one is a separate lecture apart from the 7 modules we have in 4201. In the case of SCE, it's 5201, EEP 5201. So this is a business plan. So after this one, there's going to be a cash flow lecture. You know, it's a continuation of the business plan. The cash flow aspect is going to take care of the finances, the calculation, and what have you. And this one is going to take care of the business plan and its content. It's a model, it's a class that teach us how to write a business plan. You know, writing business plan is very important to a business because there is an adage which says, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So any business that start with a very good business plan, that business is assured of success and continuity. So most of the times when you start your own business, when you have a very good business idea, maybe in your head, the kind of business you want to do, even though your enthusiasm shows on your face, your excitements and what have you, your failure to maybe have it on a paper in a form of business plan may not get you buy-in or investment, because people will not listen, will not consider you based on your word of mouth. They want to see a concrete evidence that you have something well planned that will guide you on how to go about it in the form of business plan. So one of the very first steps any entrepreneur must take in translating his idea into paper in the form of business plan. So preparing a business plan can be a long time consuming process because it involves a lot of things. A lot of computation, a lot of analysis, a lot of research, and what have you. But it is vital to starting a business because it's something that will assure you of your success. Because every bit of your business is going to be well planned ahead of time. So what is business plan? A business plan can take any of these definitions. A document which spells out the goals and objectives of business and clearly outlines how and when they will be achieved. So a business plan, in most situations is a document, it's a paper where you write every bit of your business, every section, every plans, every goals and objectives, and write clearly how these goals and objectives are going to be achieved. And then another one says a structured guideline to achieve a business goal. Business goal is to maybe grow the business and profit or increase the wealth of the owners. So this is a kind of a roadmap, structured guideline that will help you to achieve the business goal. So a roadmap to owning and operating a business, just like a geography map. A geography map, guides people on travel or on transit to go places, based on their desired location. So a map is something that guides them and keeps them on focus, on the right track. So the same thing with business plan to a business. Business plan, guide a business person on what to do and when and how, so that success can be achieved for the business. Another one says it's a proposal that describes a business opportunity for financing agencies or investors. Business plan, apart from being a detailed outline or plan for the business, it also used for funding requirement. Sometimes when you approach a financial institution or a lender requesting for fund for your business, start off for investment, the most situation, want to see your business plan, because they always want to deal with a serious person who has a plan in place for a business. And then a detailed action program outlining every conceivable aspect of the proposed business venture. This definition, focus on a start of business plan designed for a start of business. So it's a program that outlines every conceivable aspect of the proposed business venture. So before you start, you write your plan, your business plan, where you map out all the strategy, all your research, all your objectives, and what have you. So that when you start the book, the plan will be guiding you on how to go about it. So any of this is a fair definition. So relevancies of business plan. What are the relevancies or importance of business plan? What can you stand to get when you have a business plan at your disposal? You embark on a business start off with a business plan. What are the benefits? Or when you have a business that is being guided by a business plan, what advantages are you stand to get? So number one is a roadmap or guide for the business. A roadmap or guide for the business. It's something that will guide the business what to do to achieve a particular success or achieve its goals and objectives. It gives assurance for success potential because you already planned everything, so there is an assurance that you are going to succeed. So that is what business plan do for the business, because it's something that you sit down and plan based on your research, based on your marketing research, based on your analysis and what have you, based on your projected figures and what have you. You make your plan so that it guides you. So in one situation, it gives you an assurance of success because everything will be spelled out, well planned ahead of time. We evaluate probability of plan venture because writing a business plan involves a lot of projections, a lot of financial analysis in terms of expected profit, revenue, expenditure, and what have you. And this can help you to ascertain your profit well ahead of time. Based on your projection, you can be able to know precisely how much you are going to earn as a profit from the venture. And in most situations, or the most important thing, your business plan is to secure funding, because banks and other lenders, would like to see your plan before they commit themselves into giving you their money for business. And it review current progress against initial focus. Business plan is something that will be guiding you and checking you and make sure you are doing your business activity based on plan. Because plan is something that you have for the business so that it achieves success. So the more you deviate from the plan, the more the business plan, from your plan, the more you are going to fail. So the business plan will be checking you. Something that you'll be referring from time to time to make sure what you are doing is according to what you plan based on your analysis and researches. And then it serves as a resume for the business, like CV. The graduate, in the labor market, use CV to sell themselves to employers. So also business plan to business, like for investment and what have you. Business plan is what investors look into to see what are the plans, what are the projections, what are likely financial gains and success that is going to happen to the business, and that will help them in deciding whether to invest in your business or not. And then set a value on the business for sale or other legal purposes. Business plan carries out all your all the book value of your business business world. So it is served as a kind of a legal document that will help to spell out the business value. So business planning process, just like every other activity, writing a business plan, passes through a lot of processes. It's not something that you just sit down, just wake up and do it in a single day. Something that entails a lot of activities, systematic activities that will help you write something very standard. So first of all, anyone embarking on writing a business plan needs to, conduct a research. Business planning process starts with a detailed research into the industry. That is the industry you are targeting with your business plan. The customers, so that you know the kind of customers you are dealing with, their income level, their purchasing, preferences and what have you. Your competitors, people in the same kind of business with you, so that you gauge their strengths and their strategy and see how you can build on it to stay ahead and the cost of doing the business. Then after researching, then you develop your strategy based on the researches you make. At the researches, step, you try to discover your competitor. You try to see the kind of strategy you can have to stay ahead of your competitors and what have you. So at the strategy step, that is where you develop the strategy based on the research. So the second step is strategize based on the information gathered from the researches. A good major source of strategy is to watch the current practices in that business environment to have a foundation to build the necessary competitive distinctiveness or advantages. So from your researches, you can be able to observe and see the loopholes or the weaknesses of your competitor, the preferences of your customers, the industry and what have you, and see how you can build a very strong competitive advantage to take advantage of the markets. And then after you strategize, then you need to calculate the expected cost implication or financial implication in terms of expected expenditure and revenue to know the possible profitability at the end of the day. The whole essence of the whole thing is all about profits. You write your plan because you want to make sure you achieve profits. So at this stage, you sit down and calculate your expected expenditure and revenue, and then try to see which one outweigh the other, so that you can be able to ascertain your profitability at the end of the day. So any business that is not profitable enough to help you, cover your costs and at the end of the day, gain something as a profit is not worth undertaking. So based on your calculation, if you discover that you're going to earn a profit, then it's something that you should go after. So the final stage, or the second to the last stage, is draft. This stage is where you begin to write the plan in a paper. This is where you put your strategy and what have you into the actual plan. You may require the service of business planner or consultant if you encounter any challenge at this stage, because this is where you write your strategies on paper and what have you. So if writing may be difficult for you, you may need the services of a business plan writers. We have them all over around. And then revisitation and proofreading to finalize. The fifth step is to revisit the entire business plan details and reconsider any ambiguity or inappropriate wordings and idea featuring in the plan. So the last is revisitation. Your draft to make sure it is error-free, and make sure you change all the ambiguous words and inappropriate wordings and what have you in your plan to make sure it is perfect and easy and very simple to understand. So these are the business plan writing process. So what are the content of the business plan? Business plan, like I tell you earlier on, is a systematized way of writing your business something. So it has a structure just like any other things. So the content of the or structure of business plan, number one, you need to have a business name and location. And after that, you need to have an executive summary. This is a snapshot of the whole content of the plan. This is important because, at times, a bank executive or an investor may not have the time to go through the whole plan at a time. So when you give a snapshot of your business, of your plan in the form of summary, that can help you, for them to consider it within a very shortest possible time. Maybe while they are moving from home to office or from, they can be able to know exactly what your plan is aiming at. And from there, they can decide whether to invest in your plan or not. And then you need to have a business description where you describe your business and what it entails. And the market and competitive strategies, organizational issues, operational plan, financial analysis, and conclusion. So the first one is business name and location. What is the name of the business? Business name is very important. In most situations, the kind of name you give to your business should entail what you do. Like, your product or service. This is going to be helpful in a situation where somebody, is not aware of your business. By mere looking at the name, that person can readily knows what exactly is happening in your business premises. Like, for example, if you write clean laundry, you understand? By mere looking, a customer may know exactly what is happening there. If he has the need for your service, the customer can approach you with an offer, you understand? By mere looking at the name. So the name should always make sense. It should entail what you do as a business person. And then where is it located? The location too must make sense. The name must be appropriate, it must be distinctive, memorable, easily to spell and pronounce, just product or service you offer, etc. The location must make sense. Your location should be in a place where is accessible to the main road. There is a parking space where people can park their vehicle, because failure to locate your business in a place where people can have a parking space may result in your customers going to another person who offer the parking space. So location is very important. And then executive summary. This one, gives a snapshot of what your plan is all about. So just like the main business plan, it also has the name and location in a very brief form, business description, market and competitive strategy, organizational issue, operational plan, financial analysis, and conclusion. So business description. Business and the market. Here, you need to describe in detail what your business and what your market is. In the case of business, you need to talk, the nature of the business. That is what you are going to be doing. Is it a manufacturing? Is it a service? If it is a service, then how are you going to be offering the service? If it is a manufacturing, what kind of product are you going to be producing? And then the problem to be solved, market need and wants. So what problem or what gap in the market are you feeling? Why are you going into the business? Here you need to talk in terms of your market needs and wants. Based on your analysis, you can be able to convince your reader that there is need for this product or service in the marketplace. So it's really going to gain ground in the marketplace. And then you need to describe your product or service. With the product, you need to talk in detail what your product is. How did you come about the idea? With what and what can you be able to make the products, the ingredient or the raw materials? And what are the services or needs the product is going to satisfy? And then the services too. And then the business model. Business model is the way you are going to carry out your business activity. Are you going to adopt a model from somewhere else, or are you going to create a new model where no one have ever used before? So it all depends on how you are going to do it, and it's also going to depend on your resources availability and the nature of business. And then key function or technology, the machines, the technology you are going to deploy to produce the product or service is very important. You talk about it in detail. And then marketing strategy. Here you are going to talk about how you are going to get your product sold in the market. How are you going to make awareness in the market, and how are you going to entice your customer that they should buy your product in the marketplace? So under this, you need to talk about your target market and customers. Where is your target market? Why are you targeting the market? You need to talk in terms of the needs and wants in that market. And then who are your customers? Are they high income levels? What are your purchasing behavior? You understand? So all these are very important things you need to talk about. And then general marketing objectives and plans. What are your plans for marketing? How are you going to make awareness in the market? What kind of strategy are you going to use to advertise your products? And then product features and benefits. What are your product features and benefits? You talk about it. And then pricing power. People normally use two types of pricing power. There is what they call rapid skimming and slow skimming. Rapid skimming is a process where you come up with a lower prices for your products. The advantage of this is to attract the market in a very shortest possible time. Because whenever a product come to the market, a very cheap product, people normally rush at the products. And at times, depending on your market, you may want to charge a higher price relative to the other similar product in the market. You may decide to charge a higher price because you want to give your product an image, because there is this misconception or perception among customers that a higher price product is more valuable and qualitative in the marketplace. So based on your market analysis, based on your analysis of the kind of customers you are dealing with, you can decide on the pricing power you are going to adopt. And then promotional plans. Here, you need to decide on the way you are going to make awareness about your product or service in the marketplace. People normally use advertisement like the radio ad, the television, and what have you, the billboard. So it all depends on the kind of product you are into and your resources at your disposal. Then sales promotion, personal selling, event, and public relations. So all these are part of the promotional plans business people normally use. So choosing one of these, needs to be explained to your audience why you choose it. You understand why is it not the other one? You need to convince your audience. And then distribution strategy. How are you going to reach out to your customers to deliver your product or service? What are the methods are you going to use? Are you going to directly sell to your customers, or are you going to use the middlemen, wholesalers or the retailers to reach out to your customer? You need to talk about your distribution strategy here. And then competitive strategy. Competitive strategy are all the plans that you have in place that will help you to stay ahead in the marketplace, that will help you to develop some advantage over your competitors in the marketplace. So here you need to analyze your competitors to know about their strengths, weakness, and the kind of strategy they use to market their product in the market. So here you also need to talk about your competitive advantage. What are the competitive advantage? The advantage you may have over your competitors in terms of how are you going to differentiate yourself, in terms of cost, in terms of technology you may have that will help you to produce at a lower cost or to produce a very qualitative product or something like that. And then competitive strategy. In most situations, people normally achieve competitive strategy in two ways. Number one, by having low cost of production, and number two, by differentiating their product in terms of quality and what have you from other people's product or service, or a competitive product or service in the marketplace. So you can use either of the strategy to develop competitive advantage. And also people use e-commerce strategy, to go online, to reach out to markets, beyond where they are physically located. So here you need to talk about it because it's another factor that, attributes or gives a competitive advantage to business. So competitive advantage. So competitive, by way of developing a competitive strategy, you need to do what they call SWOT analysis. Here you need to analyze your strengths. What are the factors that will make you, achieve success in the marketplace? And what are the likely hindrances within your market or in you? So what are the opportunities or threat in your markets that may possibly cause challenge to you? You need to identify them and showcase the strategy you have in place to provide for them. So route to competitive advantage. What are the ways you can showcase in your plan and how you can achieve competitive advantage? So the first, you need to ensure you have the right resources in your plan, and then you need to showcase how you are going to differentiate distinctive competency. What skills, what special knowledge and skill do you have that you can be able to achieve the competitive advantage? And how can you do it? How capable are you to do it? Here you need to talk about your skills, your certification, and what have you. And when you have all these resources, distinctiveness and capability, you develop what they call efficiency, quality, innovation, customer service. And when you have this factor in place, you are going to arrive at lower cost of production, and you're going to be different because of quality and all this. And when you have these two, lower cost and differentiation, you're going to achieve what they call competitive advantage in the marketplace. So the next one is organizational issues. What are your vision for the business? A vision is a mental picture of where you want to be in the picture. As a business person, you need to have a milestone, a target, which you are aiming at, So here you talk about your vision in terms of geographical boundary you are going to reach out to, the amount of investment you are going to make in your business, the number of employees you are going to employ, and what have you. The quantity of the product or service you are going to roll in some years. You also talk about your team and their qualification, the people that are going to be working for you. Who are they? What are their qualifications? Your internal team, that is your immediate employee, and then the external team, like your consultant and what have you, that are helping you to promote your business. And then you need to talk about yourself, you, the chief executive officer or the owner of the business. Who are you? How did you come up with the business idea? What are your qualifications and certifications? What special skill do you have that will make you different from other similar CEOs? And then the legal form. What kind of business form you are going to adopt? Are you going to be the only person in the case of maybe sole proprietorship? Are you going to partner with somebody with equal resources to help you achieve greater success? Or are you going to have a limited liability company? So it all depends on how you want to do it, or the number of people that are partnering with you to make the business. And then organization of the business, that is organizational structure. What are the people in the organization and what are their positions? How many people are under who and who in the organization? Who is answerable to who in the organization? You need to have a structure that will showcase all the positions in your organization. And then you need to talk about internal controls. What are the controls you are going to have in place to have a major control in your business? We have financial control, we have credit control, we have inventory control, we have quality control, and many other controls. So these are very important. You need to talk about them in your plan to showcase how you are going to control all these issues in your business. And then operation plan. Operation plan is a plan that entails how you are going to operate your business. How you're going to operate your business. Here, you need to talk about method of production, your plant layout, your available technology, the kind of technology you are going to deploy, the license of 10 or required. You need to talk about it. So in the case of an existing business, you need to talk about the license you have of 10 already. In the case of a startup, you need to talk about the licenses you are going to get or the one you have gotten already. And then insurance coverage. What kind of insurance are you going to subscribe to? And then team formation. How are you going to assemble people in your organization? And then key system, that is what system, recruitment system and control system. What system are you going to use in your business? We need to talk about all this in detail. And then financial projections or strategy. Here is about the money expected and to be received and spent in the course of doing the business. So here you need to talk about your accounting system, when your accounting system is going to start and end, and how it's going to be, analysis of cost, in terms of, you need to talk about your fixed costs, your variable costs, and all the other costs in the organization. And then sales analysis, you need to talk in detail. What are your projected sales in a quarter, a year, or over some few months? You talk about your sales projection and how you're going to sell it. And the income statement, you talk about your expected income and how it is going to be coming in. And then cash flow statement, planning, and then balance sheet, and then breakdown of cost figures, startup funds need and sources. And then we talk about the startup funds needs and what are the sources. If you are targeting an investor with your plan, you can maybe talk about some significant part of the funds to be coming from the investor, so that you put some very small amount of money, probably the money you have saved over time, you kept aside for the business, at other sources. So cost analysis. Cost analysis will help you understand cost structure. Here you will talk about variable, fixed, and total cost. A variable cost is a cost that varies with the level of production. When you produce more, you incur more of this cost. When you produce less, you incur less. When you did not produce, you will not incur any variable cost. The fixed cost is constant. It's a cost that you incur irrespective of whether you operate or not operate, like the cost of electricity or the cost of maybe rent and what have you. Total cost is a combination of the variable and fixed cost. And then you need to talk about your cost per product or service, how much each product or service is going to cost you. A unit of product or service, how much is it going to cost you, so that you can ascertain how much each product and service is going to give you as a return. Then cost per month, cost per year, and what have you. So this is going to help you in cost projections and planning. When you know your likely cost you're going to incur, you can be able to plan based on the projection. And then sales analysis. This will help you to make sales, to understand your sales structure. Here you need to know your sales per product or service, sales per week, sales per month, sales per quarter, sales per year, 5-year sales projections. This is going to help you in sales planning. And then income statement. Income statement shows sales volume in terms of Naira, show trading effectiveness. Because when you are effectively trading your products, marketing them, the income is going to be higher. And that will indicate how good you are trading your product or services. And it shows ability to operate profitably. Because when you have more sales, it means more profit. and shows overall net profit. That is, when you take away all your expenses, it's going to arrive at your net profit. So the large volume of income or sales something is going to showcase how much you're going to earn as a net profit. Then cash flow statement or planning. Show sources and use of funds. Show liquidity position. Liquidity position is the availability of extra cash at your disposal to meet up with daily cash needs. Sometimes you don't want a situation where you don't have a cash at your disposal because anything can happen in your business. Like unplanned expenditure may arise that they need you to take care of it, promptly. And then show ability to plan for loan repayment. When you have enough cash, it means you can be able to pay your loan, gradually over time. And then helps plan for deficit and surplus funds. Your cash flow statement will tell whether you have surplus or deficit cash at your disposal. And then balance sheet. Show sources and use of funds. Show company asset and liabilities. Here you're going to spell out all your assets and your liabilities. Helps understand critical operating ratios. So growth potential. Growth potential is something that will entail to your audience, that are factors that will tell your audience that there are elements of growth in your business. There are some factors which, if they look at them, they will see possibility of growth in the future. So this include income or physical expansion and jobs. In your plan, you need to showcase the possible increase in income, and and also physical expansion and job creation. The number of people you are going to employ. If you are going to start in the first year with like 20 people, maybe you can project that you are going to expand your physical location, and you are going to use more raw material, and that will entail hiring more people that will work on the raw material, additional expansion and new raw materials. And the method of growth, integration and divestment. Divestment is a process where you take away money from unproductive sources to where you earn more money from. And then analyze trend, how the trend of your profit or revenue or income that can help you to convince your audience that there are potential of success in your business. And then you need to talk about the pest analysis. In terms of your environment, your political environment, economic, sociocultural, and technological. You talk about all factors that will enable you to achieve success in the near future. And the risk and scenario or advice. Here you talk about the insurance, the possible provision you are going to have in place in case all these issues happen. So next is factors for successful business plans. Number one, you need to have interest in the business. Interest is very important because when you have interest in an endeavor, you can be able to persevere, to handle whatever challenge that may come your way. So interest is very important, and it's going to be very, amusing, working for something you have interest in. So most times you need to, based on your maybe SWOT analysis and what have you need to discover areas where you have energy, where you have passion, where you can make a lot of significant contribution in. And then you need to make adequate research. Writing a business plan is not an easy thing. It's not something you can just do. It's not a day work. It's something that you can do for days, weeks, or months. You need to do your analysis, you need to do your homework, and make sure you understand all the figures before you draft your business plan. And then you need to make a lot of hard work and sacrifices. And then you need to be patient and persevere. through discipline and what have you. And then lastly, you need to pray. So these are the possible factors that will help you, write a very good, successful business plan. So recap, we talk about, business plan, talk about the relevancies of business plan, it is the importance, and we talk about all the content of the business plan and the attitudes for successful business plan. So this is all we can take. Thank you for watching. If you have any question regarding this lecture, you can drop your question at the bottom, and any one of us can respond to it. Thank you once again.